Coming up next on Locked On Devils, it is another game against the Carolina Hurricanes. Yay!
You're Locked On Devils, your daily podcast on the New Jersey Devils.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
They scored 9 goals last night. Oh my God. The Hurricanes scored 9 goals yesterday. And oh yeah, Sergei Bobrovsky had to wear it. Does that sound familiar? That sounds awfully familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, the Devils are playing the Carolina Hurricanes, who are coming off a 9-1 win over not just a normal team, but the defending Stanley Cup champion, 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. The Devils cannot beat Carolina. Maybe that can change. Probably won't, but I'll get into that. Hello, this is Locked On Devils. I'm Zach Berman. This is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in the world. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Devils Canes in Newark tonight. It is a big, big game for the Devils. Like I said on Thursday's show, a game they have to have with the standings being the way that they are. Devils are 4 points out of a playoff spot right now, which is third in the Metro. That being the Pittsburgh Penguins, who currently hold that spot. Penguins today, I do believe they are in action. They're 13 games across the National Hockey League. Pittsburgh is playing in one of them against the Columbus Blue Jackets, who have a new coach. Rick Bowness is now the head honcho in Columbus. I'm surprised that Dean Evison got such a quick hook. I really like Dean Evison as a coach, but what do I know? I'm just a dude who sits in front of a microphone in his brother's kitchen recording a podcast. I don't make these kinds of decisions. I'm not getting paid to make those decisions. I'm just here to sit here around and talk puck. So Devils win plus Penguins loss could have New Jersey within 2 points of a playoff spot. I hate having to make up ground, but the Devils have won 2 consecutive games against Minnesota and then against a hotter than I realized Seattle Kraken team that is 5-2-3 in their last 10. So perhaps there is light at the end of the tunnel, or Tom Fitzgerald will double down and trade the farm for Braden Shen. Why did I even put that into existence? Maybe there are no trades to be had. Maybe the sun's going to explode one day and nothing matters anymore. I know that's the way seeing Carolina on the schedule makes me feel. The Devils have not been able to beat the Hurricanes, whether it be in the playoffs, whether it be in the regular season, whether it be just ever, since 2009. Since 2006, it has been a long, painful history between these two teams. And the last time Carolina came to the Rock, Luke Hughes was getting booed every time he touched the puck. So the good news is it's the last time we'll see Carolina for more than 2 months, which makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. The Devils are probably going to face Brandon Busey, who shut them down in that game on January 4th. And I don't like the feel of this matchup. The Devils are coming in rested. They're coming in as hot as they've been, and yet the Devils just can't beat Carolina. They can't crack Rod Brindamore's system. And like we talked about with JP, the Hurricanes, as good as they are not the class of the Eastern Conference, at least not right now. So it is a major indictment on the Devils that they struggle as much as they do with Carolina. And I I do not look forward to these games because we know how these games typically go. The Devils have played since the beginning of 22-23 110 power play minutes against the Carolina Hurricanes, the playoffs and regular season combined, and the Hurricanes are outscoring the Devils 7-3 in that time frame. That is power play time, mind you. It is ownership that the Hurricanes possess over the New Jersey Devils. Ownership. Like, they own the Devils. If you took a paternity test, Carolina, you are the father. It is not a good matchup at all, and it just makes me feel really uncomfortable every time I see them in their stupid, ugly road uniforms, probably the ugliest road uniforms not named the Anaheim Ducks in the National Hockey League. Take the ice in Newark. Who are the typical suspects that torture the New Jersey Devils? Logan Stankoven. He's got 5 points in his last 5 games. Perhaps the Devils should have had him, but Tom Fitzgerald decided to draft Chase Stillman instead. Nikolai Ehlers, 3 goals in his last 5 games. A new Hurricane. Perhaps the Devils could have had him, but no. Sebastian Aho, 4 assists in his last 5 games. But it's not just the main suspects for Carolina. It's not just the big names. It's always the whole team that seems to torment the New Jersey Devils. Yeah, we'll get the likes of Eric Robinson or Jordan Martinook or Mark Jankowski. Taylor Hall, the ex-Devil, he's sure to score a goal tonight. Usually does. He scored in the 4th. I think the big ask is get a point tonight. Like, they need to get 2, and I'll be upset if they lose this game. More disappointed than upset. Like, disappointed father. I knew you couldn't get it done. But just get a point. Get a loser point. I want progress. I want 60 minutes with the game tied at the end of regulation time. Because I don't care how cool the Nico Hischier overtime winner was. The Devils did not, they played well against the Kraken. They did not play that well. And this building is still going to turn on the Devils if things are the way they usually are against the Carolina Hurricanes. I know this fan base. I know there's only so much tension that has been untapped. If it gets ugly, people will boo. People will turn. Tom Fitzgerald still needs to be fired. 2 wins does not change that. But at the end of the day, it's all talk. It is all talk until the Devils show that they can get over this hump. It is an obstacle. Now, do you go around it or do you go through it? That's the question. And the Devils, they have been trying and failing to beat Carolina for the longest time. Tonight is a really meaningful game. I expect them to lose 3-1 or 4-1. I expect the same old problems to plague this team in this matchup as they usually do against this opponent. Prove me wrong. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, yeah. What was your favorite memory of the Juho Lammikko era of Devils hockey? He was waived yesterday. So is Colton White. And I hate that they're waiving Colton White because Colton White's probably been their best defensive defenseman. Did he? We don't know if he cleared yet. So I think we'll find that out today. If this is the last we see of Colton White in a Devils uniform, light in the darkness, good soldier for sure. Someone who paid his dues in the organization, in the farm system for a long time, and finally came up and played good hockey. That's what I'm going to remember from Colton White. I'm also going to remember the Devils might not get anything from him in return, and that would suck. So could that also mean that there's a trade coming? I mean, we've been hearing that the Devils are trying to trade Dougie Hamilton and Andre Palat for the next however many years. So what do we know? What could happen? I have no idea who I'm targeting as a trade. I don't know who's willing to trade anybody right now, because said it with JP, a lot of teams are just way too delusional for their own goods right now and not competitive when they think they are. So I'm holding out a semblance of hope, but I'm also just kind of like, well, who's really willing to make that move? I think the Devils are willing to entertain it. They'll probably come in second. But you're 4 points out of a playoff spot. Should you be buying? Should you be selling? You know what? I really don't want to tempt fate and be like, yeah, go out and get your guys. Because if I say that, then the monkey's paw is going to curl, and I don't need a Braden Shen or someone like that. Just give this fan base a reason to cheer about this team. That's all I want. That's all I want. All I want for Christmas. It's not Christmas. It's January 17th. It'd be Christmas if Tom Fitzgerald got fired. I think that's a perfect segue, because across the Hudson River, it'd be Christmas for Ranger fans if Chris Drury was fired. But nope. They got a letter instead. And we'll read through it after the break. Sorry to be nosy, but you kind of have to pay attention. Oops. Today's episode is brought to you by the lovely folks over at Game Time. There's nothing like being at the ice during hockey season. The speed, the hits, the atmosphere, it's unmatched. Watching at home is great, but being in the building is a completely different experience. The only thing that used to get in the way was actually getting tickets, long queues, endless screens, and prices changing at checkout. That's why the Game Time app gives the advantage back to fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing NHL tickets and experiences in just a few taps. I pulled up the Game Time app to check out upcoming NHL games and was surprised to see how fast it was to find great seats. The zone deals are clutch. You choose the section, Game Time picks the seats, and you save even more. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. All right, let's talk the Chris Drury letter. I think we kind of have to. First of all, this is a joke, but I thought Tom Fitzgerald's presser was just not great at all, and I didn't like how he doubled down on the Markstrom extension. But I think this is worse, like significantly worse. So let's read it. And forgive me for the background music. A message. We wanted to take a moment to connect with our loyal and passionate fan base. We know and feel your disappointment. How the season has gone. You're just frustrated and want nothing more than to deliver an on-ice product you can be proud of. It's what drives us every day. No one in the organization has been happy with what has transpired from management to coaches to players. Over the last few years, we've had successes and moments of merit, but ultimately, it was not the end goal. We are working relentlessly to bring a Stanley Cup back to New York. That is what our fans know it is. With our position in the standings and injuries to key players this season, we must be honest and realistic about our situation. We are not going to stand pat. A shift will give us the ability to be smart and opportunistic as we retool. This will not be a rebuild. This will be a retool built around our core players and prospects. We will target players that bring tenacity. I love the tenacity of what the first skill, speed, and a winning pedigree with a focus on a young players, draft picks, and cap space to allow us flexibility moving forward. That may mean saying goodbye to players that have brought us and our fans great moments over the years. These players represented the Rangers with pride and class and will always be part of our family. As we start on this new strategic plan, we will continue to play hard with pride and passion for our fans. We appreciate your unwavering support for the Rangers more than we can describe, and thank you for all that you do for our organization. We will begin to see some of our plans come into the light in the coming weeks and months. Let's go. Chris Drury, President and General Manager. Well, a lot to unpack. That's a whole bunch of nothing. That is a whole bunch of nothing. For the most part, it sounds like when you're prioritizing tenacity is the first thing you want to add to your team, isn't that the exact thing that got the Rangers into this predicament? To me, it sounds like almost a doubling down on the mistakes. Now, granted, be my freaking guest. If you want to go assemble a bunch of Matt Rempe's and then write in a ChatGPT letter a nice long 3-paragraph letter that says, I suck and I'm the problem. You know what? I feel bad for Mike Sullivan. That's what he left in Pittsburgh, only to get the situation in New York 4 months later. This has zero substance. This has zero. Who can they trade? Who can they trade? Zibanejad's on a no movement clause until 2030. Miller's on a no movement clause till 2030. Jeff Gorton gave Chris Drury a great team. Not that much work to build around it, and that's what he's done. Hey, sound familiar? There are 2 general managers in the New York City metropolitan area that need to be fired. Chris Drury needs to be fired, but you know what? My message to James Dolan, keep him around as long as you damn please. I think he's doing an excellent job, for one. But let's focus on our GM, our team. I just needed to laugh at the Rangers. That's something that, even as bad as this season is going, I will never miss an opportunity to do that. I just wanted an excuse to read the letter with clown music in the background. You know what? Let's talk about the rest of the month, because after this week comes to a close, the Devils are embarking back on another road trip. And it will be their last trip to the West Coast this year. A trip that in the past has been incredibly fruitful for the Devils, being the Western Canada trip. I think they have to win 3 out of 4 games at least on this trip. Edmonton's a mess right now. Calgary's a mess right now. Seattle is Seattle, and Vancouver is terrible. Like, this is your chance, if you are the New Jersey Devils, to bank points. This is a chance to get back into the race and to make up some of the ground that you have burned in the process over these last few weeks or months or period of time. It feels like it's been forever. These are the games the Devils have before the Olympic break. After Carolina tonight. At Calgary, at Edmonton, at Vancouver, at Seattle, home versus bad Winnipeg, who you've already lost to, home versus Nashville, still not very good, at Ottawa, who might be a bigger mess than the Devils are right now, home versus Columbus, they just fired their coach, and home versus the New York Islanders, who, yes, they beat you 9-0. They broke your hearts in the final minute right before then. But if you look at the analytics, the Islanders are like an all-time fluky team right now. Like, that's not to say that they aren't good. But the game that the Islanders won in Edmonton 2 days ago, where the Islanders were outshot 35-18 and yet won 1-0. The Islanders are rapidly moving in the opposite direction underlying wise than where they should be. So the Devils are in a position standings wise where it doesn't feel like they're out of it, yet it kind of does feel like they're out of it. I would like to see them go on a run to get back into the race. Take advantage of this schedule. How many games do you have before the break after tonight? Because I'm chalking tonight as a loss because it's Carolina. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. What is a fair expectation? You can't expect 9-0. I think you need to win at least 6 of them. 6 of them, points in 7. I get the travel's going to be can't say that. Wow, that's the closest I've come to cursing on this show. Wow, really did not think it would be that. Figure out a way after tonight to get points in 7 of those 9 games. I need 7 games worth of points. 6 of them have to be wins. Okay? Capiche? Caposh? Capoosh? All right? Okay? Figure out a way to get it done. We'll probably lament a loss to Carolina on the show tomorrow. I'm expecting my heart to be broken. I'm expecting a 4-1 loss where they really don't show up. And if you're expecting otherwise, then maybe hedge your bet. And bet, see where I went with that? And put some money down on FanDuel, sponsor of today's episode. The NFL divisional playoffs are here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode every game day during the NFL playoffs. FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Each game day, you'll see a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts you can apply to the bets you like most. Open your profit boost pack first thing you see on game day and see what boosts you want to apply. The boosts let you lean into your game day instincts, whether you're backing momentum, defense, quarterback play, or coaching. The boosts give you more juice on the bets you already like instead of forcing you to bet something new. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Big day in the NFL. Bills and Broncos at 4:30. And then tonight, who is it tonight? Oh my gosh. Oh, it's Seattle and San Francisco. Should be 2 fantastic games. The NFL playoffs are just the best. But you know what else is the best? If you're looking for a new hire, which the Devils should be doing, you could go on Indeed and do just that. Another sponsor of today's episode. There's nothing. Oh, that is the Game Time app. If you've ever hired someone who looked good on paper but wasn't the right fit, you know how important that is. When you want candidates who truly match what you're looking for, trust Indeed sponsored jobs. Hiring, Indeed, is all you need. Stop struggling to get your post seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs put your post at the top of the page and help you reach the right candidates faster. Sponsored jobs boost your profile to the people who are the best match for the role, and that makes a real difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. Spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with less stress, less time, and more results using Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of this show get a $75 sponsored job credit to help you give your job the premium placement it deserves at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support the show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. That's all I got for you guys today. We will likely break down a loss to Carolina tomorrow. As always, fire Tom Fitzgerald. Let's go Devils, and thank you for stopping by.